this is Jordan, and you're listening to the Code 7 Podcast Network.
Good evening. This is Ricardo with the Code 7 Podcast Network, and I am the host and creator of Within the Trenches, which is a podcast based on the experience of being a 911 dispatcher. So it's been about a month or so since the last video I recorded. There's been a lot of stuff going on since then. I've been doing a lot of traveling for work. Just a lot of things going on. I just wanted to give an update and a status on the IAM911 movement, as well as Project IAM911, and an announcement that I made yesterday, which I will get to here in a moment. But just to recap on some of the things that's been going on, I was in Colorado recently for the ApkoNena conference there, and had an excellent time. My coworkers and I, Larry and April, we did a presentation called "A Day in the Life of Texas 911," where we read some tech sessions, and there are some that are serious and some that are funny. I mean, the point of the whole thing is just to let dispatchers and directors know that Texas 911 is not anything to fear. So we gave a great presentation, and from there we had the vendors show, and I met some excellent people there. One of them was actually briefly on the podcast a couple of years ago in Denver when when National Nena had their conference. Her name is Tiffany, and she's right here. Actually, she also ended up winning our vendor booth giveaway. But I met these awesome ladies, and I just wanted to thank them and give them a shout out for coming up and introducing themselves, and just to get a chance to talk to you was a lot of fun. It was good to to mingle and talk about the IAM911 movement and the podcast and other things that are coming on. And a couple of them, these two here, actually, I had kind of given them a hint of some of the things that were coming up, and this is stuff that's been revealed already. But it was awesome meeting them, and I will definitely be keeping in touch with them. From there, from that conference, actually, no, there's one more thing. I got to sit in one of the classes for Adam Tim. He does the Healthy Dispatcher, and it was a lot of fun. If you haven't been any of his classes, or if you haven't heard about the Healthy Dispatcher, go to Facebook, search on Google, look up their social media outlets and check out what he is doing. He's doing some good things. This picture here, it did not turn out the way I wanted it to. I had my iPad, and I had actually written on here, Within the Trenches and the Healthy Dispatcher, hashtag IAM911. So, I'm going to post that up, maybe Photoshop that in, but make sure to check him out. He's got some good stuff going on, doing great things for dispatchers out there. Also, the week after that, I ended up going to the NENA Standards and Best Practices Conference, as well as the CIF, or the Critical Issues Forum, and had a lot of fun there, learned a lot of new things. Actually gave a presentation for the founder of my company in digital. His name is Mark. And so I did a presentation for him on resiliency in 911, which turned out very well. And during that time, when I was giving that talk, the person sitting, or one of the people sitting in the audience, was Mr. Steve Souter. He will be retiring soon, but currently he is the 911 director for Fairfax County 911 in Virginia. It was just a little over a year ago that I had him on the podcast. It was episode 80, an excellent episode. You got to check it out. He tells his story about how he got into 911. Now, he worked in the DC area, and his first day in dispatch was on radios, and it was actually the day that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Was assassinated. A few hours after that was the DC riots that broke out, and he was in. I thought it was just 2 days that he was in dispatch. He was actually in there for 4 days, working in dispatch. And again, this was his first time there. It's an excellent story. Make sure to check it out. And he walked up to me, and we talked, and he shook my hand and all, and he said, a little over a year ago, you interviewed me on your podcast, and it was an honor being on your show, which it was. I was speechless when he said that to me, because that meant a lot. He's a legend in public safety. He also gave me this challenge coin here, first of the first responders, which is awesome. So I finally got to meet him, and it was a good time all around. So from there, a quick update on the IAM911 movement as well as Project IAM911. It's still going strong. My team and I took a little break from posting all the stories that are on there. We finally finished stories from August 29th, and it is October 19th right now. So we're moving on to August 30th and working our way all the way up to present time. So there are many more stories to come, as well as notes. We're going to be posting them all on there. Like I said in the beginning, I vow to make sure that all of those messages get answered, and for all those stories to be put out there, because they're important. They need to be heard, or read rather. So we're jumping back on that, and we're going to be posting out a bunch more stories. We just thought that we would not only take a break for ourselves, but give everyone else just a little break from the amount of messages, because we were just pounding them out there and pushing them out. So we're starting up again, and we're going to be sharing. As for Project IAM911, there are about 150 pictures on there of dispatchers that have sent them in with IAM911 on their hand, or holding up a piece of paper. There's actually a bunch of different things that people have done. They've gotten very creative, and just to show you a few here, and this, of course, you can find this on the Facebook page for Within the Trenches. But here is Project IAM911. Looks like there's actually 142 pictures in there. And just coming up on them here, this is where we are revealing the heroes behind the IAM911 movement. And, the nameless, faceless professionals of 911 are showing who they are with pride. So if you would like to join this project, you can do so by sending your IAM911 pic to wttpodcast@gmail.com. And these are just, a few of the images that are on here. But make sure to check those out, share those. And again, if you want to get involved, do so. I have another update here, so I'm going to go ahead and go off of this. Now, this article was posted by policeone.com as an excellent article. However, on Facebook, there are many comments, which is good, and a lot of them are good. However, and I haven't read them myself because I've been trying to look for it, and I cannot find the actual one. So if you can find the link to hook me up, I would like to read some of those comments, because I've been told that there are several comments on there that are not all that great. But in response to the comments to that article, I have something that I'm going to be posting here pretty soon. And it's one of my admins who wrote this, who is also a columnist for the IAED, for the journal. So it's been submitted to them, but she's also given it to me to post up. And again, the article that was posted by policeone.com, excellent article. That's good stuff. What I'm going to post is simply in response to the comments from the people who think that, just to put it, they don't think we should be reclassified, that we're not in the shit as put by somebody. So I'm going to be putting that up there, and we're going to continue to share these IAM911 stories, and, we'll just show you how much in the shit we are. So going from there, the big announcement that had come out that I had been talking about this whole time, the IAED, the International Academies of Emergency Dispatch, and myself, Within the Trenches, we have joined forces, and we're going to be sharing each other's interests, articles that they have coming out. I'm going to be sharing those. They're going to be sharing my podcast episodes, and they are also going to be featuring the podcast at the 2017 Navigator Conference in New Orleans, Louisiana. This is going to be April 12th through the 14th. And if you have not seen the announcement, I'm going to go ahead and show that to you right now. That's right. Within the Trenches podcast is going to be featured at Navigator 2017. It's going to be awesome. We're already sharing information. This video is going out all over the place, and it's going to be a good time. Not only am I going to be doing the podcast there, I'm going to be giving a talk. And the talk is called Keep Broadcasting Your Message. And it's pretty much my IAM911 story. Talking about how I got into it, where I come from, my dispatch background, the podcast, everything that's going on. I'm going to be throwing in some IAM911 stuff in there as well. But there's a lot of things coming. And also, part of this big announcement is that with some of the money that has come from the t-shirts for the IAM911 campaign, I am going to put that into a scholarship, and I'm going to put it out there for one of you dispatchers to be able to get a chance to go and experience this conference. So what is involved with this scholarship? Well, it is the Within the Trenches Continuing Education Scholarship, and I've done it once already. I did it for National NENA last year, and Leslie, the first recipient, it was awesome. It was really good meeting her. She's an excellent person. Please listen to her episode. It's episode 111. We go through the scholarship and everything, where she comes from and such. But what is involved with the scholarship is that you will have the chance to go to this conference. So what'll happen is, if you happen to be awarded this, you will get your registration paid for the conference. If a pre-conference class is offered, you'll be able to pick one of your choice. There will also be a $500 travel stipend. You will get an official Within the Trenches t-shirt, and you will also be a guest on the podcast. It doesn't get any better than that. It's a chance for one of you out there to be able to go and experience a conference of this magnitude. So again, a lot of good things coming. I'm hoping that with everything else that has come from the IAM911 campaign, a movement rather, that I will be able to offer more scholarships coming up for national conferences. So it's something that I want to do for dispatch. Also, maybe even, training courses to send somebody to it. There are big things that I want to do with this entire movement. So that is the announcement. That's the big thing. Navigator 2017 Within the Trenches coming, and live podcast episodes, presentations, scholarships, big things happening. I'm so happy and proud and honored to be doing this. And for all of you, again, that have joined the movement, who have put your stories out there, who have been doing stuff with Project IAM911, thank you very much. Without all of you, this would be nothing. And everything that I'm doing, it's all to make sure that not only dispatch is finally heard and humanizing the voice within the trenches, but also being able to offer, give something back, to be able to have one of you go to a conference or go to a training course, anything to help the thin gold line. So have a good one, and thank you very much.